Yeah,
Well,
fair enough.
We just got to start the show. We've just got an hour, Bernie. So just chuck it on your face, and yeah, if you've got any questions for Dave, we'll just jump into it. And because obviously you've come from the ball earth sort of sciencey side, so no doubt you got some questions about the Earth and the flat Earth model. So yeah. Hit Dave up. I guess I should do an intro quickly. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Campbell here from Autodidactic. Thank you for joining us. We've got Dave, Flat Earth Dave Weiss with us today, and we're going to get into the flat Earth. And we have Bernie joining us to go through a few questions. So, are you there, Bernie? God, where's he gone?
Bernie? Is he in a crystal meth lab?
No meth lab, and I am here. Yes.
You're very cool. Just show us your face, and yeah, let's ask some questions.
All right.
All right. So wait, let me get this straight, Bernie. You're a Tatarian researcher, but a globe believer. Is that correct?
I actually believe in 10 dimensions, and I'm writing a geometric theory that connects the 1D disk plane to the 3D sphere plane to the 2D polarized rod to the 10-dimensional full torus model.
I can't rule that out. All right, very good.
It also includes like the hollow Earth, the honeycomb Earth, the spherical Earth, the simulation, as well as the etherical one-dimensional plane of moments of time.
All right, where do you want to start?
So there you go.
So from a physics point of view, Isaac Newton's model of light is a little bit different, and it's connecting into Nassim Harameyn's work now with the holographic, kind of folds back into the ether dimension as opposed to traveling throughout the entire time, and thus it makes sense that light waves are a 1D force and matter. So all the flat Earth modeling and science recording of light metrics would actually show up. So I have questions in regards to like I've seen people pull up like aircraft schematics that show that they're operating on like a one-dimensional plane. Have you guys seen that sort of stuff?
I don't know, like I've seen manuals that say that they operate over a flat non-rotating plane, and I've seen flight radar showing them all going over a flat plane. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So with the model that I would have, that would make sense, and that's a craft that's actually going in a third dimensional would be like your anti-gravity sort of UFO rotation of more dimensions of physics in it. And the more you look into it, it's like both models work. So, and that from another part of my dimensional theory is that consciousness is also a part of it, so that everybody, wherever you're measuring from, you're a sense, the further you go out, it would only be in a 1D plane as things break down exponentially as you move away from the center of where you're measuring, sort of thing. My questions, though, for research would be the star movements and the sun and the moon and those. cycles if you could go over that stuff.
So how does the sun, moon, and stars move? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, in the 1D disc plane.
Don't you mean 2D?
Right. Well, it depends if it's concave.
It's
or
level
disc.
1 on his thing.
Yeah, we're having a bad connection, but I'll explain it the best I can. In the flat Earth model, or the model that I believe is that the Earth is a flat, extended plane. We don't know how far it goes. It's extended, could go on forever. Don't know. It could be in the middle of a toroidal field. We're in the flat plane inside of that toroidal field, and we're living on that plane.
That corresponds perfectly with my dimensional theory of 1D being a cross-section disk of the
right
10-dimensional full toroid.
Yeah, so this is where we live. I'm not going to deal with all of the other dimensions out there. We're living in this flat plane, 3-dimensional flat plane, and the sun and the moon and all the luminaries that we see circle around in fixed positions. The sun, the moon, and the wandering stars, now called planets, they have their own paths. Everything is like gears on a clock because they repeat, and they're predictable. They're not, they don't have to deal with the 3-body problem. And they circle around. The sun, migrates in between the tropics. I'm going to share my app and show you how that actually, what's actually happening. So this is the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac clock app, and it basically shows you the sky is a clock. The sun is the hour hand on the clock. It goes around once a day. It migrates in between the 2 tropics. Right now, it's just over the Tropic of Cancer. So us in the inner north, in the Arctic area, have the sun arcing around us, and it's our summer because the sun is close to us. But you guys out here in Australia, it's colder because the sun is farther away. But if I jump the sun 6 months forward to December, January, it's now over the Tropic of Capricorn, and you guys have your summer because the sun goes right over your heads. And it's in the inner north, we're having our winter. So if you're in southern Australia, you're in what I call the Antarctic because the sun is antarcing around and away from you. It's not going around you. And if you're in the inside of Cancer, Tropic of Cancer, the sun is arcing around you, the Arctic. It's arcing around you. So that's the Arctic and the Antarctic, and the seasons are caused just by the sun being close and close to you and above you, or far and away and below. And the way I describe it is, imagine if the 2 of us were sitting outside in a freezing cold. It's below freezing, and we're 20 feet apart. And somebody's holding a big warm heat lamp, 10, 15 feet over your head, directly over your head. Well, that's your summer sun. It's above you. It's radiating down. It's close to you. It's high in your sky. It's directly above you. But if I looked at that from 15 feet away, it's lower in the sky. It's farther away from me. I'm having my winter. I could barely feel the heat. It's low. And then if I kept it at the same height and the person brought it over me, that's now my summer sun over Tropic of Cancer. You're farther away. You see it lower in the sky. That's your winter sun. It's lower in the sky. That's how seasons work on the flat Earth. Make sense?
Kind of. Wouldn't that
Still there? Oh,
in the south?
can't hear you very well there, Bernie.
Get on your microphone.
Wouldn't that mean, though, in the Antarctic, I'm just trying to figure out how the sun could... It would take double the time to go around in a day, though, compared to
actually not. That's a great question, and the question is, why does the sun would have to move faster over the Tropic of Capricorn, where you can see it right now? So imagine I'm standing up. I believe that the sun and the moon that we see are more of a projection or a reflection into our reality, into our sky screen, I call it. And so imagine you're standing in a room and you have a flashlight and you're pointing it at the floor about 3 feet out from you, and you turn around once per minute. Well, that's going to draw a circle with a 6-foot diameter around you, and it goes around once per minute. Now just point that flashlight beam 10 feet out from you. Okay. Well, that's gonna spin around once per minute. It's gonna go around a circle that is 20 feet in diameter in the same amount of time, because you're spinning at the same amount of time. The source of the sun is just being focused to another point. I believe that the dome above us is like the magnifying glass, just like when you take a magnifying glass and you burn ants with it, or set something on fire. You're focusing a point of light, and if you lift that magnifying glass up 6 inches in the air, that point of light isn't gone. It's just in the air. And that's the sun that we see. It's a focus point of energy. And it's more electric in nature than a burning ball of hydrogen, which is nonsense.
I've got a question. Are you there, Bernie?
Yeah.
Oh, when you, just with the atmosphere, just from a physics point of view, how do they explain like space, like that we have an atmosphere and then there's a vacuum, but there's no barrier between? Because that's not possible in physics, is it?
The actual atmosphere extends far out past the moon, so theoretically the moon should actually be sharing our oxygen, and that's why there's such high deposits of O3 on the surface of the moon. So theoretically we should be able to breathe air on the moon, and that's just another cover up and lie.
So what you just said is what I say cool story, bro. I mean, there's no evidence of anything that you just said. I used to believe the same thing, but I also believe that we went to the moon. I take it that you believe we went to the moon.
Yeah, I've seen the hidden recordings, and they cut out and they filmed it half between when they were going up, and then whenever they encountered UFOs, they cut onto back channels. But those videotapes were released onto the internet in the 90s, and you can hear both the missing radio on the back channel, and they actually uploaded the encounters of the UFOs on video too, and you can hear Neil Armstrong just shitting himself. And I believe that's why we've never been back. But I also believe that we were using a much higher dimensional technology that got us up there than what we actually disclosed.
Yeah, so your argument is that everything that they showed us was done on a Hollywood set, but they really used
only half of it was.
Okay. I mean, well, how about this part? This is the lander coming back to dock with the orbiter. Is that part real?
I have no idea which parts are and which parts aren't. You'd have to play it in full.
Is when they were on the moon bouncing around like they were tied to helium balloons? Was that part real?
Well, that's the part. Half of it's not. So you probably are showing all clips that are fake that were pre-recorded.
Can you show me a clip that was not that was real?
Yeah. I don't have it on me, but I can look into it and easily get it for us next time.
That'd be neat, because I haven't come across anything that's real at all that has to do with the moon. And the question is, do you believe in the International Space Station?
I've looked at it through my telescope.
Yeah, well, you saw something going by, but it doesn't make any sense. That they tell us it's going 17,000 miles an hour. Well, I live on the East Coast in America, and we have transits that go up to 8 minutes long. Well, 17,000 miles an hour times 8 minutes is it would go all the way to the West Coast of America, and I'd be able to see it the whole time. The problem is I live in Connecticut, and only people on a small swath in Connecticut could see it, and the rest of the country doesn't get to see it as it goes all the way over to California. That makes no sense. So that tells you right there that the thing that you're looking at is something small and something much closer, like an airplane flying at high altitudes. And we have some information, and it makes perfect sense to me, that it's a modified, when we see a transit, not the transit's also actually, but when we see this thing, it's a modified B-2 bomber that has sections of it made out of transparent material, and the whole bottom, in whatever shape they want, is covered in an array of LEDs set to the perfect light temperature to make it look like it's reflecting sun, but it's not. And also, you can't reflect sun to my eyes and then to someone else's eyes that's standing somewhere else at the same time. It would flicker. You know, they've done all sorts of experiments trying to reflect sun to distant objects, and it just flash, 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 flash. That's not what we see. We see a light go by with an even light. It never flickers, right? The space station, this thing has to be reflecting sunlight to where everyone in the path can see it. Makes no sense. It's provable, scientifically provable, that what we're seeing is an illusion, not an illusion, is a trick, and that this thing, different countries made different parts. They had to make an adapter because they decided to make two different doors. So they had to make an adapter for those doors. Never assembled on Earth. It was sent to space, different parts from different countries, and assembled for the first time in space. Not a single picture, not a single video of it being assembled, but we have to believe it's there. And now China, all of a sudden, come last week, they have a space station and there's people on it. No photos, no video, no nothing. Okay. And there's people on the space station, and people actually believe this. This is utter nonsense. So why are they faking everything in space? Everything in space, they're faking. I mean, they were up there and they had a lemon, and they were playing with the lemon, and look, it's not real. It's going right through his hand. This is virtual. It's called augmented reality. Why are they faking everything in space? And the only argument you can come up with is, well, they're hiding the real technology. They don't want us to know. That's a cool story, but it's not a true story.
Good grab. I think we've lost Bernie, though. I think he's dropped off.
Listen, I don't know if I can help Bernie. He is very lost in theoretical physics, and I don't think there's really much
well, that's why I thought be interesting to chat with him. And
it's not going to be interesting because he's not going to get it. He believes in this.
Oh, well, should we? Yeah, well, that's why I said the atmosphere thing.
Right, he believes that the atmosphere is going out to the moon, and you can breathe on the moon.
Pushed it out further,
but he also believes that we went to the moon, but they never showed us anything real. How do you argue with that? You can't. It's just he's lost in a theoretical world in 10 dimensions. Okay, he might be right about some things, but he's missing the whole 3D boat that we're in. He doesn't get it. No offense. No offense. It's okay. I actually used to be there.
No.
I was there, but I was shown, and I was like, you know what? Wow. I used to believe, like, you know what, the stuff on the moon, they faked it because they didn't want the Russians to know, and the aliens, told us not to come back. I believed all that nonsense. But then I've looked at it, I'm like, that's really the dumbest thing ever. A little embarrassed that I used to believe it, but I'll admit it.
Well, I mean, we all did, we got brought up with Star Wars, so why would we question it? It's like, that's Star what we Wars. Wanted. I mean, and that's kind of what they do. It's not like they want you, they make you want it to be real as well, don't they? It's like, oh, that's so cool. We can fly around, and it's more than the facts, right. It's more the want and the fantasy of it that they push.
These guys are going straight down. This isn't a cross. They're going down. It's all done with. It's all just magic. Green screens, zero-G planes, augmented reality. They're faking all of it. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable because some people just can't believe it.
Exactly. I mean, this is the thing. It's such a the way they've set it up with the experts and the intelligent people being the ones who are pushing the narrative, sort of for most people, they just go with the experts, don't they? They don't question it. They don't want to think about it. So they're like, well, this dude's smart, so I'll just believe what he believes, and they don't really think or look about it. And
they trade in
so
their
this whole illusion. It's
not
not even about the information.
They trade in their common sense for nonsense. Yeah. They see stuff like this. Either they believe it, or like your friend goes, oh no, this is the fake stuff. They didn't show you the real stuff. How do you argue with that? I don't have time for that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like you say, a lot of them, once it's sort of out of our realm of being able to touch and feel and sort of manipulate it, we don't really know what it is. It's like Ewa said, the sun might be a projection from the middle.
Yeah, I like that
going
idea.
up.
I like that idea.
Yeah, I find it interesting. I'm going to have to buy a pyramid. I was trying to find an experiment. I was just wondering what happens if you shine a light up through a glass pyramid, a crystal pyramid. Does it split into 4?
That's a great question. There's so much to it. On the app, in June, right? We're in July right now. In June, mid to late June, one of the videos I featured, which is in the archive, it's a Freemason anonymously drawing a picture and showing us how the Earth works. And he showed the flat Earth plane with the hole in the middle, with the black sun underneath, projecting up to the dome, how the sun and the moon and the stars are all projected from the middle. And it was pretty interesting, pretty interesting thing. Again, it's beyond what I fully understand. It really is. I mean, this place is amazing. But one thing all flat earthers can totally agree upon: we're not a spinning ball in a space vacuum. Can't happen. You can't have atmosphere next to a vacuum of space. If you believe in the vacuum of space, you're believing in nonsense, right? And they go, well, gravity is holding the air down. Yeah, well, but I can take the weak vacuum of my cheeks and lungs and suck water and air up and away from gravity with no effort, zero effort, tiny bit of effort. But the Tor 17 or whatever vacuum of space can't rip all the air off Earth. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. What I'm showing you in the background is the only proof that we landed a rover on Mars, and people believe this nonsense.
How do they explain tornadoes sucking water up? Because that's against gravity, right?
Right.
I guess they just say the forces are more or something. But
well, you know what?
That's
tornadoes,
against gravity, which is supposed to be the strongest force.
Right. The force of gravity is not it's not due to mass. It's an electric force. The Earth has a negative charge. The Earth doesn't move. That negative charge attracts things to it. And that sets it down. Hey, down is this direction. And then buoyancy and density sort everything else out. A helium balloon goes up because of the it's being thrusted up by the mass of heavier air that's being pulled below it. Okay. If I drop rocks and ping pong balls over water, the rocks and the ping pong balls will fall through the air. The ping pong balls will sit on top of the water. The rocks will go to the bottom. And that's due to buoyancy density. But down is down. If you point down right now, you're in Australia. Down is this way. Down is not this way. Down is this way. Okay. We're both in the same plane. Yeah. Okay. Down is down. Up is up. Left and right, forward and back. Those are all relative to where you are. But down is down for everybody. Right? That plumb bobs would not work on a curved Earth. It doesn't work. Okay. You have to believe that they're all going from different directions, pointing to the center. Who says where the center of the Earth is? The atom that's at the center of the Earth. How does it know it's at the center? What about the atom that's halfway between the center and the outside? How about he says, hey, I'm the center. Everybody come to me. How come the one in the middle says everybody come to him? It's nonsense. It's all baloney, garbage, nonsense.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, and the whole gas planet thing, I mean, should really, I don't know, a lot more people should question that, shouldn't they, really? I mean, a gas ball in a vacuum is...
Well, yeah. So the Big Bang, all the rocks turned into rocky bits, and then all of the gases turned into gas balls and left a vacuum in between. That's the dumbest story ever. It's ridiculous. And people just like, oh, yeah, well, science said it, it has to be. Otherwise, there would nothing here. It's like people just lose their minds over this nonsense because they want to believe in Starfleet Command and space travel and all sorts of ridiculous nonsense. They're mocking us every step of the way. Look, Starfleet Command and Space Force. See, those are the logos for the Starfleet Command and the new Space Force. They're mocking us. It's all symbology and mockery and nonsense. Yeah. Here's Pluto. This Pluto's got a desert that looks like the dog Pluto. What's that?
they get us ready. Like it's before they actually, did the whole we're going to the moon thing. They preceded that with, 10, 15 years of movies showing people in space.
Exactly.
So that people, it sort of builds it as a reality before they do it.
Werner von Braun made a book called Project Mars in the 1950s. He wrote this book about a group of people that went to Mars led by a guy named Elon. Okay? Led by a guy named Elon. What are the chances, right? And this is Elon's rocket that he wants to take to Mars. And he said a month or so ago, hey, he tweeted, I want to redesign the Mars rocket. I want to make it pointier. Let's make it pointier.
Pointy. I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. This is, again, pure mockery. It's ridiculous. And, you can make up all sorts of theoretical physics and be lost in that world forever and have a good old time. I'm not about that. I'm about what can we prove? What can we show? What does physics actually prove? If you start fooling around with 10 dimensions, done all this stuff, you can anything will work for you. Anything will work. I'm not into that. I'm into, where are we? This is what I call it. People talk about simulation
Dark
theory.
matter.
I like it. I call it, we live in a physical simulation. I like it. We're here, manifested here with a spark of God in us that some call souls. So our soul is a piece of God, and we're here experiencing this realm, expanding the mind of God. Okay. And we're having this adventure. We chose to be here. In my opinion, my belief, don't have any receipts for that, but I believe that we chose to be here with amnesia, experiencing this place like for the first time. And our goal here is to maintain the control of our soul and not break anyone else's free will. That's it. That's our total goal. See what we can create. See how we can, just be good people and help others. If everyone helped the person to their left, we'd all be good.
Well, exactly. And as we all know now, that's exactly, the opposite to what those who wish to be in control are pushing, like I saw like a news report thing and the headline was, is it time to ditch your unvaccinated friends?
Yeah.
So, it's all about division. That's what they're pushing because So that's what they're pushing, and this whole, wokeness stuff, it's all division, where what we need is, obviously more collaboration. Divided we fall, right? And together we're strong. So it's so obvious what they're doing.
Right.
It's a nice one.
Yeah, it's the truth. I mean, I ask people, when did you learn about the globe? At what age did you learn about the globe? And did they show you anything other than cartoons? And the answer is before you can talk. And no, they only showed me cartoons. There's no photos of Earth. There's no videos of the space station being built, which would be the most videoed construction project in the history of construction projects. You would think that they would assemble it on Earth first, but they didn't. I mean, every single thing about space is ridiculous, right? Why do the astronauts have stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Okay, because they're actronauts, right? Why in the National Buoyancy Lab do they have this photo, this painting, which is a Vitruvian man being handed a power tool by a scuba diver with a rocket trying to break through the dome? Okay, what's going on here?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good.
That's in the National Buoyancy Lab, and they have green screen. There used to be videos of it, and during the YouTube apocalypse, they got taken down. But they had green screens in those pools, okay? And the question was put to NASA, why do they have green screens? And they said, well, to just make it more realistic for the astronauts doing the training. Well, if you know anything about green screens, the astronauts wouldn't see, it wouldn't look more realistic. It's only for making movies. Boom, pool, what they show us on TV, okay? We've caught them so many friggin' times. It's not even funny. Right. It's not even funny. It's sad that people still insist on believing nonsense. They've traded in their common sense for nonsense.
I mean, and they're doing this. What's happening now is, what we're dealing with now, the same thing. There's no photos or microscopic images of it. There's no proof that it's ever, been, well, they haven't even isolated it, anything, have they? So it's the same it's the same game plan, isn't it?
It's the same thing
it's
again
all,
and
it's
again.
all built on.
Every 100 years, they do the same thing. 1920, we had the Spanish flu. Everybody was wearing face diapers, getting this in their arm. 1820, cholera. 1720, the plague. Same story again and again. Right. And then comes the Great Reset. Now, you're a Tatarian researcher, so you see it. All of this stuff. I mean, are we going into a Great Reset right now?
Well, definitely we are. I mean, of course, look around. I think the question is, what kind of a reset? Ours, or is it going to be theirs? Because they've had the last three. So, I think 3 strikes and they're out, right? And this time it's ours. So,
well, maybe.
I mean, and this is
we can only hope.
Yeah, that this is why we're out doing what we're doing, because it's just, this kind of information, it raises consciousness and it gives hope. Whereas, 5 years ago, before all this kind of stuff came in, all this, conspiracy sort of research was negative. You'd sort of learn all this stuff and it was really just everything's bad, we're stuffed, rah, rah, rah. But this research, we can see, with flat earth, it's like, well, we're the center of creation. And with Tartary, it's like, well, look what we used to be. We've achieved a lot and we can get back there. And when you understand that, it also shows you that something has come in and messed with that, it's
all sorts of stuff.
The time, last year.
Were we messed with? Who are the people that are really running this place? The thing is, they're not coming from outer space unless you call this the outer space, something beyond Antarctica. Everything is here across the flat plane. It's not coming from out there. Okay. Other than maybe demons, who knows? But we're here in this system. Have you ever seen this map? This was discovered in Hawaii. It's showing all these other continents out there.
Yep.
Why the lie? Why would they lie? Well, they're hiding more land. They're hiding who we are. They're hiding our true power. They're hiding resources. They're keeping us as slaves. Maybe these are people that know what this place is, and they make multi-generation plans, right? They know about keeping their bloodlines pure. They tell us to just, they're just weakening us by just dividing us. They divided. We have to stay united. The division of countries is fake. It's all fake division, right? Countries all the way down to sports teams.
Yeah.
Okay. It's all division and diversion. If we all would just come together and realize, nobody has power over us. The only power they have over us is in our imagination, right? The only power your psychotic Australian government has over you is in your imagination.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's complying that gives them power. It's like what you focus on grows. So if you're focusing on the telly, then fear's growing. If you're focusing on the truth and expanding, your heart consciousness, then that's growing. Because at the end, we're the creators, right? We're at that point, we create reality, and together we can definitely make something better. So, yes, I think pretty
since you're in Australia,
a few more minutes.
If you want to go to,
I did have a question.
I just want to show you one play right. If you want to go to Western Australia from Santiago, it goes all the way up here. It goes all the way over to China and Japan and all the way to Singapore and here. That's the actual flight route. And when you look at it on a flat Earth map, it goes up across China, Singapore, Western Australia, straight line. Airplanes fly straight and level over an Earth plane, right? Not air globe, not sea curve, sea level. Airplanes Don't fly upside down on a spinning ball. It's ridiculous, right? Think about all the different angular momentums of all the different areas of the Earth. I mean, imagine if you left the North Pole and flew to Ecuador and tried to land on a runway that's moving sideways at 1,000 miles an hour. Okay, where are you going to get that sideways tangential speed? It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
you can't fly over a spinning ball. Good.
No, yeah, there was that video of the it was animation of showing a plane come in, like in the Earth moving, and it just yeah,
you get it.
It just doesn't make sense that you can land in a straight line.
It makes what I call nonsense. Just as a thought,
yeah, I did a video on that actually on my other channel. Yeah, because we've got senses, right? And it's kind of like you were talking about the physical world and all this spirituality is, you know, whatever we are at the moment, we're here and we're physical and we've got physical senses to guide us around, and we're here for an experience. So, you know, you can be spiritual, but I mean, we also should be present.
You know? Yeah, but we are spiritual beings.
Don't match.
You're right. We are spiritual beings.
Yeah.
We're having the spiritual physical experience in this physical simulation, and we have free will, and we're here to experience this now, this present moment. The present is a present. Okay, words have meaning. Arctic, Antarctic, right? You know, everything is right there in front of us to use. They're casting spells on us with their spelling, right? It's all here. At our fingertips, and they're hiding it from us in front of our faces. Right?
Authority. Most of that word is author.
Right.
So who's writing your story?
Right.
You know, so it's everywhere, you know, his story, Christ Mass.
Yes, right. Fast. American language is the most weaponized language of all. Here's the challenge for any of your listeners. I'm assuming most of your Tatarian followers know the Earth is flat, but for those of you that don't think I'm crazy, I'm offering 2 Bitcoins for 1 proof of the globe. Okay, what you do is you get the app, okay, and every day there's a featured video. Watch the featured video every day for 2 weeks, and if you still think the Earth is a globe, send me the proof. But before you do, hit the frequently asked question, the question mark button, and up come the top 21 questions. Guaranteed your question's in there, and it's answered in video format, multiple videos that YouTube won't serve you. They're hidden from you, right? You can get the app on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. It's the highest rated app in the store on both of them. You need an iPhone 6 or better, an iPad, or on Android on 8.0 operating system or higher. And it's a one-time charge, $3 American. What's that in Australian? Like $50? I don't know. I don't know what the Australian currency is.
Yeah, probably 500.
Right. It's $3 American. And just read the reviews. The reviews will turn you into Flat Earther. But just know on the Android, there's already a Flat Earth Society takeoff of my app, trying to get people to buy that app. Instead, if you do, don't send me an email telling me my app sucks, because that's not my app. It's by the Flat Earth Society, for those of you that don't know, is a disinformation government-run website to make you laugh at Flat Earth and never look at it. So all the stuff on there is nonsense. So use your common sense that God gave you. Don't trade it in for nonsense.
Something we're sadly lacking at the moment. And we'll leave the links below for Dave's channel and his app. And I think you've got 2 channels, haven't you? And all those kind of details you'll find below.
Yep. You can find me just if you lose those links, theflatearthpodcast.com, theflatearthpodcast.com, the same Facebook, Instagram, theflatearthpodcast.com. Check it out and check out the app. The app is super good. And if you're already a Flat Earther and you're trying to wake up a spouse, a friend, a cousin, or whatever, a stranger, gift them the app. Get the app for them and just have them take the challenge. Tell them there's 2 Bitcoins in it for them. That's like 80 grand. Okay. And they won't be able to do it. they'll do it and they'll be like, wow. And then their whole world of light that will open up. And what difference does it make? People say it makes all the difference in the world. My life has changed inexplicably since I found out the Earth has been flat, and all for the better.
Yeah, and I think even more so now because it just shows people, hang on, there are people that are lying to us. You know, if they haven't seen it now, this will definitely push them over the edge.
Right. Then the flat Earth, once you see it, you can never go back. All right, Campbell, I appreciate the time, and best of luck to your friend, but he's kind of lost in space. So good for him.
Thank you for your time. Sorry for the delays and everything.
The Flat Earth Sun and Moon Clock App, a dynamic new app to teach family and friends about where they actually live. The sky is a perfect clock. The sun measures the hours and days. The moon measures the weeks and months. The star constellations measure the seasons and years. 12/12 or 24-hour clock face, or go hands-free. The Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock App with new added features. World Time. See what time it is all around the flat Earth. A true Earth compass that shows true navigation across and around the flat Earth plane. Weather. Tap for detailed local weather information. Know what phase and where the moon is at all times. Watch the sun travel between the tropics for the seasons. Select an amazing background. Add your own or have the app change it to a new one automatically every time you use the app. Add a countdown to your next big date. Learn the truth about our world with the featured video of the day. Web button for additional flat Earth related features, from the mythical curve calculator all the way to Tartaria. While talking to friends, easily pull up pictures that expose the globe lie and shine light on the flat Earth truth. Video playlists in different languages. See the real trade winds circling the flat Earth, and clean screen features. Simply click off the items you don't wish to see. The Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app is the best tool to show your friends and strangers how our flat Earth actually works.